guys, so we're on to part 2, and I asked Melissa to be here with me because she's the brains behind the operation. So, I mean, she's really good at the financial part of things, and man, she's a goat. So early on, I told you about the video last week. So if you get an opportunity to watch it, I said, hey, will you go and start a company with me? And she's like, how can I help? And I'm like, go to college. All right. And so she went to college, got a business degree, and it took her, about 5 years?
Yes, because I would literally do school online when all 5 kids went to bed. So it was a challenge, but I did it.
And then she went to another apprentice program even after the 5 years and learned even more, furthered her education even further. Got to sit with, like I said, another accountant that was a goat. And now Mel is phenomenal at it. She does an excellent job for us, amazing job. And so I asked her, I said, hey, you got to join this thing. You're, me and you are kind of like the ride or die, And so with that said, she's here. And I'm so glad that she came join me today. Thank you. All right. With that said, we're going to jump straight on into it. There was, like I said, a lot of fears, a lot of, undecided things that I didn't know. And one of the things that was being legal. That was one of the, I kind of knew how to be legal. I knew the backyard being legal, but, that guy, like a backyard mechanic, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I had a little bit of knowledge, but a lot of guts, and I went with a little bit of knowledge and a lot of guts, and, we kind of struggled until we understood it, and before Mel went to college. So with that said, let's talk about it. I'm a brand new company, brand new starting out, got ambitions, want to start a company. Man, I'm tired of waiting. I'm not playing no more games. I started the company. What do I do first?
Okay, so this is the hard part, is because, when you're first starting out, especially entrepreneurs are amazing in the fact that you have vision, you have dreams, you have, guts to go out there and do it. And you have the idea, you have the product, you have the sales capability, like you are ready to face the world. But then there's the other side of the business that nobody really wants to think about or talk about, and that's the legal side.
That's not fun.
That's my side. I am not the sales fun person, but I will make sure that we are legal 100%, and there's no gray area.
No.
And so that's how you have to be. So getting legal. So if you're just starting out, and if you're a new company that's just starting out, there's some things that are definite that you need to do. So first things first is make sure that you get your federal ID from the IRS, because that's what the number that you're going to use to pay taxes and apply for loans.
Okay. Now that's $250, right?
No, it's free.
All right. You're going to get online and say federal ID, and then I'm going to say $250. You can get your federal ID.
Yeah.
Maybe I should consider doing it. I'm just joking.
No. That's why
it's a scam. It's a total scam.
And that's the state that does that.
Yeah, right.
So you can get online. You can apply for it online. Get that number.
It's free.
It's kind of your identity number. So get that first. The next thing you do, you apply with the state. Go downtown, register your business, what's the name of the business, who's on this business. And so...
Now, where do you normally do that? Like, if I go to the state, can you do it on... Some you can do it online, right?
Actually, since COVID, they've really allowed you to go online and do it. Back in the day, you had to go downtown, get the paperwork, fill it out, mail it in. But now you can do everything online, so it makes it super easy to do. And so... You get your EIN number from the IRS, and then you get your, register your business name with the state. But the other thing that you need to do after all that is that you need to start thinking about, are you going into business for yourself? Are you going into business with someone else? If you're going into business with someone else, the next thing that needs to be a number one priority is your operations agreement. That piece of document is the most important document that you can have.
Now, hold up. So what you're telling me is, if I go down to the state and I fill out the corporation papers or the sole proprietor papers or the partnership papers and I send it to the state, that doesn't mean I own a business? That's not it?
No.
Right, okay.
You're on the registry.
Exactly. That's my whole point. Without the operations agreement, that other stuff just don't mean anything.
Yeah, so the operation agreement is the most important document that you can have, because that literally is stating who is a part of the business, what each person has stake in that business. If there's decisions that have to be made, who has percentage to do that, who can, be voted off the island. Like, that piece of document is crucial. Like, if something were to ever happen, if there was a ever split in the company, they're going to look at that operation agreement, see who has what, and that's how it gets decided or divided. And so, so get your state, get your federal, get your operations agreement. You can do that online. You could do things through like Rocket Lawyer. If you don't want to pay a lawyer, you can do it through Rocket Lawyer. If you're going to do like a major business with multiple partners, I highly recommend have a lawyer draw that up, just so that all of the wording is correct.
Like a C corporation or something of that nature.
Yeah. So if you're, even an S corp or something like that, make sure that you have that lawyer draw that paperwork up, just so that every party is covered, and nobody is taking advantage of anybody else.
Right.
But if you're just starting out and it's just you and your husband, or you and someone else, or it's just you, Rocket Lawyer has operating agreements on there. Super cheap to do it. Is a good way to do it.
But I was asked by several people, said, hey, make sure you take cash, man, so that way you don't have to pay tax on that, just don't tell nobody about it. And the one thing I learned right out the gate, guys, don't do that. First of all, it's illegal. Second of all, you're hiding it. Third of all, you're living on the DL instead of living on the front, okay? If you don't live on Front Street, you don't keep it honest, you don't keep it up straight, let me tell you what's going to happen when you're ducking, dodging, trying to do things illegal and not do things correctly, okay? When you're doing that kind of stuff, you can't market your business to the world. You can't tell the world about your business because it's going to catch up with you, okay? You can't put it out there. Do yourself a favor. Create value in your company first, right out the gate. While Mel's telling you, I'm telling you, this is what you need to do. Set the thing up, structure correctly, get a good foundation that you can build your house on, that you can build your business on. Because if you don't get that good solid foundation that you can build your business on, let me tell you what's going to happen. It's not going to have no value. You're not going to be able to sell it, and all your hard work is going to go down in the drain, because when you try to piece it together later, it makes no sense, and now you're doing a lot of money, and you've ducked and dodged so much that you've made it a habit, so you're doing business illegally instead of let's make this thing big, bad, and correct, okay? I call it the Subway method. You take the bread out of the oven, you set the bread down, you pick your cheese, you pick your meat, throw it into the oven. If you want to toast it, you toast it, and then you put your veggies on, and in that order, and everything is done from every Subway from here across the United States to every Subway across the country. It's all done exactly the same way, because that system is sellable. You got to have a system. Everything's got to have a system. Everything's got to have a box. And the one rule that we have at our office, it's a very, very important rule, is this. If you have to remember, okay? If you have to remember, you're wrong. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your company. Don't do that to your system. If you have to remember something, oh man, I'll remember that. Okay, I got you. I remember. I got it right up here because I'm that cool. I'm that awesome. I don't forget. I'm just the man. Okay? No. That means you don't have a system. That means your system is broke. The first thing you got to do right out the gate is exactly what Melissa's saying. Build the foundation, set the foundation, make it structurally correct, and then start working on and building your system immediately.
Mm-hmm. And I will say, too, thinking back, like when we first started Right Way, one of the things that I know personally was that we honestly had the fear of the unknown.
100%.
And so, like, you're starting out this business, and you have the vision, you have the dream, you're starting to get things in line, but then you get to that next step of, like, how am I going to pay myself? How am I going to pay employees? Like, the fear of, do I even have enough money to pay federal taxes? Like, we would have conversations like, I don't know if we can afford to do that. And so everybody would be a 1099 or something like that because, we didn't know.
We didn't know how to do it.
We didn't know how to do it, but there's companies out there that are super simple to work with, like ADP. We love ADP. We use ADP. We have since we started paying payroll. They're super easy, and they make it so simple. And if you have questions, you don't know how to do something, they're very quick to get you that answer. So I highly recommend it. And you just got to jump out there and do it. Like, it's not that expensive. Think about this. Like, you think about, like, oh, I can't afford to pay federal taxes right now. I can't afford to pay myself. I can't afford to do this stuff. But at the end of the year,
You can't afford not to.
you can't afford not to. And so, again, that's another foundational principle of knowing how you're going to pay yourself, how are you going to pay employees, and just setting that part of the business up correctly. And if you say, oh, I don't know how to do that, or who is ADP or whatever, email us, talk to us. We've used them for years. I can help you with that. But that's a foundational principle of, just continuing to build that strong foundation so that you are going to be a legit company. You're going
100%.
to have value in your company.
It's exactly what Melissa's saying. It's just like, okay, let's give an example. Let's for say I'm a brand new company. I'm not making that much money. I've just started out. Okay, I got $1,000. I just got $1,000 check. Okay, I paid my gas out of that check. I paid all the things that I could write off. I paid off. I had to have a new pair of shoes because I run them on the job. So, I'm out $50 there. I know it's a cheap pair of shoes, okay? Cheaper. When you're in business, you're buying a cheap pair of shoes, all right? I buy the $50 shoes. I got, $50 in gas. So here recently, I got $500 in gas, and I'm just joking. All right, I got $50 in gas, $50 in shoes, and, what's left over is like, we're going to say, $900, okay? I made $900 somehow. I pulled out $900, okay? And at that point in time, Mel, let's just say I make a decision. I want to pay myself 50%, and I'm going to put 50% back into the business. Okay, so there's 100% of that there. So I'm going to pay myself, we'll say $450. Okay, and I'm going to take that $450 and I'm going to put that $450 in my pocket. Or what do? I got $900 there. $450 I'm paying myself. $450 in the company. How do I do that? Stay legal and in a system. At that point in time, what do I do?
So if you're using a payroll company, and you're paying yourself a salary, you can adjust that salary, especially in ADP. Like you can go in and change that and say, this week I can only pay myself $450.
Can I do that weekly?
Yeah.
And that could be just about any amount, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to make sure that, you have an idea of what you're doing and make sure that you're living within a budget and stuff like that. But starting out a new business, a lot of people will still be a sole proprietor and just pay themselves, and then, if you're disciplined enough to pull those taxes out so that you're not getting hit with the tax bill at the end of the year, that's good too. But if you're looking big picture and you're like, I want to set myself up for success, I want to do payroll, I want to do these things, then, set that up to where you can pay yourself and be okay.
Right on. So like let's just say, I just did the payroll company every single week. We're kind of partial to ADP. They just do a good job. I mean, There's no plug. We get paid to do this type situation and tell you that. But we're telling you because it's seamless. It's easy. It's not a whole lot that you have to know to do ADP. And in the beginning, it gets more complicated as you go. When your payroll goes from, like I said, $450 to $1,500 or $15,000 a week, now it gets a little bit more complicated. Your books become more complicated. Everything becomes more complicated. So with that said, after I get done doing the payroll, get the payroll squared away. Okay, I paid it into the company. I kept it into the company, and you just keep doing that over and over and over and over again. That keeps you out of trouble with federal. That keeps you out of trouble with state. And that makes sure all your guidelines and all your, I's are dotted and all your T's are crossed. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's just say right now, after getting my payroll squared away, after getting all that done, what else is there that I need to know right out the gate other than being good at what I do, right? Because I was great at what I did. That's what drove me into business to begin with is sky's the limit. I just want to go, What else do I need to do as far as in the businesses? Like, let's just talk about legalism. Let's talk about, not legalism, legalistic, okay?
That's a different podcast.
That's a whole different podcast, okay? Okay, so let's talk about, like, is there insurance that's required? Is there,
yes.
What do I need to do here?
So that, as you're just going down the list is, registering with federal, registering with state, registering with local. Like if you have local taxes and income tax areas, those would definitely need to be registered with. If you live in the state of Ohio, Business Gateway is a great resource to do all of that. Unemployment tax, you have to register for that as well if you're going to pay payroll and stuff like that. Workers' comp, You got to have workers' comp. You got to have general liability insurance. That's one of the main key things that you need to do, just because, you know, people are out there, and if you are driving a vehicle and you get in an accident, someone breaks into your car or someone tries to sue you, you need to have those insurances in place so that way you're covered. It's just protection. So workers' comp, insurance, general liability, making sure that you're registered with the state of, you know, whatever state that you're in, making sure that you're registered so that way if you have to pull permits, if you have to do, you know, so just knowing your industry and knowing what's required for that particular industry and making sure that you have all your documentation listed and registered with each of those entities is crucial. So as you're going through your list of what you need, so all your paperwork, your insurances, the next thing you want to start thinking about is like your bank account. You know, a lot of people will just use one bank account for personal and business, especially starting out.
No, don't do that.
Separate your money.
Yeah.
You don't want to keep your monies together. You want to have a business account. And so that's, you know, the next step that you should do is make sure that you get that business account, keep your money separated, so that way, you know, if something were ever to happen, you are a different entity than, you know, so they come after the business, not after you personally. So make sure that you have, you know, your bank account set up, and then make sure that you are tracking every single cent. Set up your bank account, but then also, you know, getting a accounting software program. I highly recommend QuickBooks. It's an easy program starting out. If you need help with books, you know, there's people that can help you. I can help you.
She says
with
it's
that.
easy. Whatever. It is not easy. Okay?
It's fine. It's fine.
It's easy for her. She's the one with the degree, you know, and doing that
it's
stuff.
Fine. But yeah, so it literally is like going down a list, and it, you know, sometimes it can be an overwhelming list. You're like, how in the world am I supposed to do this? But knowing what you need to know and knowing the right people who can help you, point you in the right direction, to help you with those things is also important.
All right, so I'm going to let everybody in on a little secret, okay? Mel has been helping companies for a while. She helps several companies, okay? And here's one of the things she does, and it's kind of awesome. And I actually talked her into it. I was like, she's like, I'm not the entrepreneur type, but I was like, hey, it's time to grow. You know, you can do this. Go get them, okay? And so this is what she did. She was already helping so many people to begin with. I mean, you know, high-end companies, low-end companies all over the place. And I was like, you need to start a company. So on the 21st, they're launching, making public their first company. And let me explain what this is. I would have totally done this. I promise I would have totally done this. She had a program set up, and I don't know the business in full, but I know the idea behind it, the box around it. So I'm going to talk about the first part of it, and we could talk more about the business as we go on these podcasts. If you have questions about it, DM us, ask questions. With that said, thanks so much for those that did respond and ask questions. I hope I'm answering those right now. And two, yeah, I loved it. Shout out to my friend Sean there. I see the excitement in the business, man. Do it. Just do it. I hope this helps you in that business, and anybody else that's interested, go after it. You know, tackle it. All right. With that said, going back to what I was initially saying. All right. She's opening a business called TKS, Turnkey Systems. And let me explain a little bit about what Turnkey System is. The reason I would have done it, first of all, I wouldn't have had to made a payment. Early on, Right Way Heating and Cooling, making a payment would have terrified me. Okay, because I didn't know if I was going to get paid $2. I didn't know if I was going to pay $200, you know, $1,000. I had no idea. Shoot, I was just trying to make it and survive. However, they've opened up the first part of their business is a grow business. It's a am I saying that right?
It's essential package.
It's an essential package, okay? And a grow business basically works this way. If you did $30,000 that year, it's 5% of $30,000. That's the essential business. $30,000, which would have been 10% is $3,000, so it would have been $1,500. All right, you'd only had to pay $1,500. It's 5% of your revenue. All right, $1,500 for the whole year for somebody to help you be legal, somebody to do make sure your taxes are correct, somebody to do your bookkeeping, somebody to help you with your marketing, your SEOs, all that good stuff, search engine optimization, all that good stuff. everything. So tell us a little bit about this. It's exciting. It's new. I know you're not ready to open that up yet, so I just, boom, dropped the bomb on it. Here we are. It's TKS, Turnkey Systems. Explain what this is. Let's talk about the essential package. I don't want to let it all out yet. On the 21st, it's live. Let's talk about the essential package. What is this thing?
Okay, so the essential package is a package that we created. So we started this company, and so I asked my really good friend Naomi to join me. She is amazing. She has a background in HR, and she's the perfect fit. And so, you know, when you're looking at starting a business, looking for those people that's going to help you be a mastermind alliance and letting those people in. So that's what I did. So the essential package, we wanted to have a package that, like Bill said, startup companies who don't know, am I going to make $1 this month? Am I going to make $10,000 this month? I don't know. And so having that monthly payment, like we said, like back in the day, we would have been like, I don't know if I can afford to pay you thousands of dollars a month or whatever it is, you know, that these other companies charge, or even hiring an employee to operate this stuff. That, you know, you're looking at a bookkeeper makes like starting out $40,000 to $70,000. You're looking at an marketing person starts at $60,000. You're looking at
Marketing person starts at $60,000. That's not what you spend.
right.
All right.
So, and you're looking at, you know, like HR persons, they start in the 50s, 60,000. So, I mean, you're looking at people like, these are huge expenses. And so you're like, I can't afford that. So I wanted to do something that would help startup companies. And so what the essential package is we're going to help you be compliant. And so we're bringing that HR assistance to you. We're going to help make sure that all your paperwork's set up correctly, you know, that you're legal with the state of whatever state that you're in, and just make sure that, you know, if you have, you know, employees, make sure that all your employee information is correct. On the bookkeeping side, we're going to help manage your QuickBooks file. We're going to help you with accounts receivable, getting your money in from your clients. We're going to help you, you know, accounts payable, pay your bills. We're going to help you with your bank reconciliations. We're going to make sure that you have financial reporting so that you have those documents when it's time to go to the tax person. And so we work, so TKS will work up to the point of needing an accountant. So
That's phenomenal. That's unbelievable.
So if you're not ready for a CPA, anybody that can do your taxes. So that's the only thing that we can't do is taxes, but we can do up to the point of taxes. You'll have all the documentation in a nice package ready to go. And then the other thing that we wanted to do, especially in this day and age, is being a business, you have to be visible. You've got to be visible to the outside world, but you also have to be visible to the social media world. And you have to be competitive. You can't just be visible, you have to be competitive. And so with the essential package, we are going to help you do that. We're going to help you, you know, post on social media. We're going to help protect your reputation on social media, because there's so many people that's, you know, posting reviews, and we're going to stay on top of that to make sure that you're getting good reviews and, you know, responding to those reviews, and make sure that, you know, your Google stuff is up to date. And so we want to give you the essential package of what you need to run and operate your business as you're starting out for a small percentage. And it's based off of whatever you do revenue for that particular month.
Guys, I'm telling you, this would have been absolutely awesome for somebody like me, because let me tell you what I'm good at. I'm extremely good at fixing heating or cooling. I'm extremely good at installing heating or cooling. And I'm extremely good at explaining to people professionally what all their options are in heating or cooling. But the areas that I was not good, I'm good at driving customers. I'm good at reaching out and winning, and I love that kind of stuff. You know, getting to know people, and that's kind of who I am. That's by nature. That's who I am. But the other piece of this thing was not by nature who I am, and so thank God that He sent me an awesome wife that is that piece. Now, my wife is doing that for everybody. So I know these things that she has already put together and packaging, already done. Okay, I've seen it. It's amazing. All right. Our company right now pays this particular thing. We're over $1 million, I'd say, at least, in paying these things. All right. Yeah, it's crazy. The overhead is very high. You're getting the keys to the castle without all that other stuff without having to hire in these employees to take care of all this. It's all a beautiful little package, a little bow with, on top, and it's going to help you be successful. And it's just a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Focus on the business and doing what you do, and let them take care of the headaches. And that's phenomenal to me. So what you had a slogan, I heard it earlier. What was it?
Yeah, so everything, we're very systemized. It's probably our analytical personalities, but everything we do is very systemized. And so with that, thinking about the entrepreneur, I have a heart for entrepreneurs. Looking at everything.
She married one. Just saying.
Stress of the entrepreneurs. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
So with that, so as I was thinking about this, our slogan is let us focus on your systems so that you can focus on your dreams, because that's really the heart of an entrepreneur, is to build something and have freedom.
Absolutely.
And so with that, if we can partner and come alongside with you and we can help you with these areas, it takes off the burden of you as the entrepreneur that's worried about, I have to do my books, I have to do social media, I have to do this, I have to do this. And we have other packages that we have as well. Dispatching, if you're a service company, we can help answer your phone calls, schedule your technicians, that type of stuff. Customer service.
HR compliant.
So we have other packages, but for people that are just starting out, the Essential package is the perfect package to start off with, because you are, getting the things that are going to help keep you legal and to keep you visible, but it's also at a price that is not going to affect your business and hurt you in the long run.
It's definitely exciting. I've been listening and eavesdropping on everything they do, and kind of say, well, what about this? What about that? And then sometimes they give me the look of, you got to get out of our office. And I'm like, okay, I'll go back to my world. So with that said, this, guys, is a no-brainer. I hope this has helped. The only other thing that I want to say, and that's something that Melissa could help you out, DM us, subscribe, like, share, help us out. If you have any questions, hit us up. But with that said, the question you got to ask yourself, why is sole proprietor? Why partnership? Why corporation? Why C Corp? When C Corp? When S Corp? When partnership? When sole proprietor? FYI, just a little heads up, sole proprietor, never. Partnership, never. Corporation, yes. Okay? There's things in there that you got to know. Like, we're an S corporation, right? We're an LLC.
Taxed as an S Corp.
Taxed as an S corporation. You'd be like, well, why? Okay? That's questions you got to ask. That's the questions you need answers for. That's the questions Melissa can help you with. All right, so with that said, her team is all together. So if you got these DMs, we'll definitely send them over to the TKS team and let them take care of all that good stuff. And with that said, guys, I hope this is encouraging. I hope it's uplifting. I hope it's educational. We do have a part 2. How to get started, part 2. So this is how to get started, part 1. You heard the introduction video. If you haven't heard the introduction video, go back, watch the introduction video. It's not that long. And then come to this one. And man, if you're serious, get serious. Get educated. If you got to pause this video, go take care of the kids, fix dinner or whatever the case may be. If you got to go get gas, and pause the video, come back to it, take notes. There's a lot of information here that we just handed down to you. You're taking it from people that's been there, done that, and is now giving it to you. If I'd have had this information back then, I would have avoided a ton of mistakes and would have got the keys to the castle a whole lot earlier. All right, so with that said, if you guys have questions, man, just hit us up, ask questions.
For sure. And, starting a business is exciting, but it can also be overwhelming. But don't let that overwhelm you, thinking of all the tasks, because once you have the plan, it's just follow through and doing it. And so it's not that hard. I say, like Bill said last week in his video, go get it. It's worth it. There's a lot of headaches. There's a lot of, sleepless nights, and, even building turnkey. Like, we've been doing this since like August of last year, trying to build it, get it ready, get, all of our systems in place. And it's a process, but it's worth it, because in the end there's freedom. And that's what we all want as entrepreneurs. So I just want to encourage you guys to go get it. And if you, like Bill said, if you have questions, please let us know. We're here to help. I wish we would have had us back in the day, like 100%. Bill said. So surround yourself with good people that's going to build you up and encourage you and to push you forward and to be the best version of yourself that you can be.
All right, guys. I hope that's helpful. And